Oh, here it is.
Yeah, participants.
Okay, I got you guys. So now I can see everyone. I just had to expand the screen. So that way, if you have any questions, just text it in. I'll have my husband work on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the companion app, whichever phone you guys have. And this is how an iPhone opens up. And as you can see here, you should have your name, what level you're on, and we'll go through each thing. So if you go ahead, does everyone have the app? So every phone's different. So I think on like the Androids, you might have to hit home. So if you click your name, the most important thing about Zwift is making sure that your stats are correct in there, especially your weight and height. And that is for when you're doing group rides or events. It's really important. I'm sorry?
Some sort of echo with your computer. Or put them on mute.
Yeah, if you guys come on, just make sure I'm mute. I think there was an echo, but you guys can hear me. So in here, you want to make sure your stats are right, and you want to click this button right here where it says edit. And that's where you're going to update your height, your weight, your birth date. You can change your picture in there, and how you want things read. So that's like important. If you haven't changed that, it might be important to make sure that information is correct, because if you join an event or a race, then your watts per kilo will be incorrect. So say you're doing 200 watts and your weight is off, you might be pushing a lot harder or not hard enough for that effort. So
okay, go back, because my Zwift updated today. Where did you change that at?
Okay, so when you're on the home screen right here, just click right here, just click right on your name.
Oh, your name, okay.
Yep. And
okay.
Yep, and then hit the edit button.
Okay. I had never seen that before, but great.
Well, that's why I'm doing this. So, so I can't see who's actually talking. So if you want to just like announce your name. Oh, Veronica. Okay.
It was Veronica.
Okay, thanks. So let's go back to the home screen. So once you know you have that edit. So a lot of times.
Excuse me, Teresa, could I ask one more question on
Sure.
that edit profile page? This is Kevin. It's you have a choice of imperial or metric units.
Correct.
And I see a lot of people are starting to switch to metric. I don't know what you use, but I've been using imperial. But they say you can advance your levels quicker on the metric setting.
It is true, because so you're 100% correct. People are changing to, I'm going to go back to that screen, to metrics, because for some reason you get more mileage using the metric versus imperial. So if it's really important to you, yes, people are changing that stat. So you are 100% correct, Kevin. So I just kept it to me. I'm just doing it for training, riding. But if you have a specific goal, mileage goal, or getting the Tron bike, then you might want to change it, because you will gain a little bit more mileage and stuff on that. But that's a really good point.
Candace has a question.
Yeah, thank you.
Who has a question?
Candace?
It's Veronica again.
Hi, Veronica.
I just read that also if you decrease your weight, you get better speed.
So okay, I'm laughing because they call that weight doping.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you are struggling to stay on like a D group ride and you want to, yes, if you decrease your weight, it will increase your weight. It will increase your speed and your effort. So I don't advise you doing it for a race, but if you're just doing it to have fun in a group ride that is not competitive, yes. But if you're just riding by yourself, there's no reason to do that, because you want the most realistic life experience when you're riding indoors.
Did you do Tour de Zwift Stage 3?
I did not, because
that is a reason to do it.
Okay, yeah. Is that the one where you had to climb all the way up?
Climb 10. Well, the women's ride was 10 miles straight up with 3,500 feet of elevation.
I probably be changing my weight as well for that one. So, but she is 100% correct. There was a question from Candace. Did you guys want to answer it before I move on to the next thing?
Yeah. So.
All right. So, Candace, go ahead.
Hi. Yeah, I just don't understand. I tried to get on the app, but it keeps asking me for a password, and I don't think I have a password. And so I was trying to reset it, but it won't send me an email to reset it. So,
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a Zwift thing. So you're talking about the Zwift Companion App. So it's
Yeah.
it's the same, usually it's the same username and password as your actual Zwift gaming. So
oh, okay.
try that.
Thank
Okay?
you.
No problem. So let's move on here. So right now, as you see on the screen here, I'm looking over here, there's 11,786 Zwifters. This thumbs up here, if you push that, you just gave everyone on your friends list a ride on who's riding. So go ahead and click that screen. So like, let me go back. I'm actually clicked right in here where all the names are. And you're going to see this. And I have 15 friends that are following. So this is like, so this is part one of how you use the Zwift Companion App, like a fun way to give ride-ons to your friends, to join events, to start your meetups. And then I'm going to show you the other way that Zwift is used for when you're riding. So I didn't give Grumpy Pat a ride on. So I'm going to give, oh, I can't do it from my computer because I forgot I'm shares. I just did it from my phone. So here are all my friends that are riding. And then on the left-hand side, I keep trying to use the screen. These are just random people that are riding, and you can actually click on their name. So that's where that's what that part of the screen means, where it says Zwifting now. So if you want to give ride-ons or just give a random person a ride-on. So let's go back to the home screen. So the next thing that a lot of people have questions, and we'll probably spend a little bit more time on this, is events. So what I want you to do is click right here where it says events. There are three parts of this on the event. So this first one right here with the bike, it has all the events that are going on that you can join for today, tomorrow, and the next day. So I'm going to zoom up. So at 7:30, they're the Major Taylor Takeover. You can click on it. The way you join events is, see this plus sign right here when I clicked on the event. Once you know this event's for you and that's exactly what you want to do, you just hit the plus sign and you'll automatically be added. So when you start riding, that join event button will automatically come up when you start riding. You don't have to do anything else. You just click this plus button. You can click it a day before, 3 days before. It'll give you a reminder on your phone if you have it set up like that. And then when you're actually going into the Zwift gaming, you just start riding like you normally would. You don't have to pick any specific events. You start riding and a little join event will pop up. And I think we went over that a little bit on my part one. So on this back screen, you can hit this filters button. And what that means is if you know that you only want to do women's events, you can just click, oh, I'm pointing like you guys can see me. Sorry, I'm used to doing this live. So you can click this little women's icon, or if you know that you're just a D and E rider, you can just make sure these are highlighted and you can say apply filters. So now when you go to the events, you're only going to see what applies to you. See that? So it will all give you all the events. So that way it kind of eliminates all the extra fluff that you don't need to go through. So this allows you to move things through events a lot quicker, and then you can join them as you need. So are there anyone on here that actually rides using Zwift?
I do, Lisa.
Lisa. So nothing different about the riding. So you just click on the running, and the running also has all the events that's available to you as runners. And you can do the same thing as filters. Filtering like your level and what exactly, just your running level. And then that way, like if you're just interested in 5Ks, 10Ks long, you can filter all that and then it'll shuffle through and give you the events. Now, go ahead.
What I was just going to say, it's a lot faster to do it on the companion app than it is on the. It's just cumbersome to try to use the filters that way. It seems to be a lot faster doing it this way.
Yeah, on the companion app, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, one time I tried joining an event on the computer and somehow it didn't work. So I use the companion app for everything. Even like during ride when I'm going to actually turn on this computer. So the next thing is where everyone's probably the most interested in is meetups. And as you know, I have done many meetups in the last 6 years and official team events. This is really easy. So say you have a bunch of friends, and we'll talk about how you can add friends to your Zwift. So in order to create a meetup, they have to be friends with you, or else you can't add them. So all you need to do is, and you can all just play around. You can click meetup. I actually love doing this when I just want to ride without people around, or if I'm doing a workout. I do a meetup and then I grab my workout. So that way I'm in the world that I want to with no one around. So once you're here, you can create whatever event you want to do, whether you're doing a group bike event or a running event. You're going to pick the time that you want. So I'm just going to do, what time is it? I'm going to do 7:30 tonight. The cool thing about a meetup is that it offers you every course. Oops, sorry. It offers you every course that they have. So as you know, Zwift doesn't offer all the worlds to you, right? They only offer you 3. Watopia is always being offered, and then 2 other ones. So say you want to ride a course that's not being offered, you just can create yourself a meetup and just ride. So say Watopia is always my go-to. And say you're riding and you don't want any hills, so you're going to pick a flat course. So I'm just going to pick TikTok or this one. And this down here, you can go by distance. So say your group wants to have a distance goal. Say you want to ride 40 miles or 50 miles or duration. So I will keep clicking the computer. So I want to ride an hour. So I'm not worried about the distance. I just want to ride an hour. So if you are worried about the distance, you can click distance. Then you have to invite friends. And this is why it's really important that you have friends on Zwift. So, oh, look, Amanda, you're the first one that popped up. So I'm going to click Amanda. I don't want to click anyone out. And I'm just going to click my husband so nobody else is wondering what the heck I'm doing. And you just have to invite one person to start a meetup. So you can just like tell your friend, I'm doing a meetup, and I'm just going to invite you. You don't have to join. So here is if you want to customize. See, this says meetup only view. I like that if I'm doing a group ride, so you don't see everyone else in the world that's riding. So if you don't want to be distracted by other riders where your rider gets attached to them, just click meetup only view. And that seems, so now in your meetup, you'll only see the people that you're Zwifting. So you're not going to see anyone else. So if you just want to deal with your friends and have a fun chit chat, click that meetup only view. So another thing.
How many people can you invite?
Up to 100.
Can you invite 100, or only 100 can be accepted?
You can invite 100 and only 100 can be accepted.
Okay.
So like if, yeah, so they only allow you to, they just upgraded that last year. There's another feature here where, why don't I see it to keep it to?
It's under the arrow. See what it says none?
None. Okay.
Customize, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So right here where it says customize your meetup. So if you know that you're riding with people with different abilities, so say you're riding with elite riders, recreational riders, and you want to still enjoy them all riding together, you're going to do it, keep it together. So what that means is it kind of rubber bands you together as a group. You still can fall off as far as like not on their draft. You can still be a couple seconds behind, it depending on how big the group is, but you won't get dropped. The only way you'll get dropped if you stop pedaling completely. So this is a great, great feature if you're riding with different abilities, but just please note, if you are a really, really fast rider and you're riding with someone that's not as fast as you, you're gonna notice that your average speed is kind of skewed for like the average of the group. So if you're wondering like, hey, I used to be able to average 20 miles per hour on this, but my meetup for my keep it together, I only average 17. So it gives the average of the group. If you notice, if you're ever climbing and you're like, wow, if you're a better climber and someone's a slower climber than you, it's almost like someone's holding on to your jersey while you're climbing because it has to take an effect to all the riders that's in the group. So it's a cool feature because no one's ever going to get dropped. So that's how you'll set your meetup, and then all you have to do is create your meetup, and then that's it, and it's done. Sorry.
What color, sorry.
my sister, my best friend's little daughter just found her phone and she keeps messaging me all these pictures. So my apology. So now as you see here, it says that I'm going and you'll see my meetup. Sorry about that, guys. And it says going right here. And you don't have to do anything else. So let's go back to the home screen. Any questions on the meetup before I move on? Yeah.
Not on the meetup, but there's two questions.
Okay.
One's from Jess. She's asking, how do I know what type of rider she is, A, B, C, or D?
So Jess, first thing you need to do is to know what type of rider you are is take an FTP test. And we kind of explained that in part 1. Once you know what your FTP is, you're going to divide that by your weight in kilograms. And then it's going to give you a number like 2 watts per kilo, 3 watts per kilo.
Hello.
And I'm sorry?
Nothing.
Is someone else? And then once you go, let's go to this event. So this D group right here, if you see, hold on, this D event, and right there on the bottom, it says it's going to average 1.2 to 1.5 watts per kilo. Once you take your FTP and divide it by your weight in kilograms, you're going to get a number of like 2 watts per kilo. So if your FTP is 2 watts per kilo, that is the average power that you can hold for an hour. A ride like this will be okay. If your FTP is only 1.2, this ride will be doable for an hour, but you really be pushing at your threshold for that hour. So that will determine what ride is right for you. So for instance, if you're going to do, let me pick another one, this crit race, and you wanted to know which level rider you are. So here are the different FTP levels. So if your FTP is 3.2, you would join the B. If your FTP is 2.3 for this race, you would join the C. So that's how it would determine what level event that you should join. So you really need to take an FTP test on Zwift and then divide that by your watts per kilo when they gave you that number. Any other questions on that? All right, so let's move on back to the home screen. So down here where it says activities, these are just friends that are riding, and you can actually, you won't be able to click on their name. Oh, usually you can't click on their name because they're riding currently. So this just tells you your friend's stats, their current wattage that they're riding. You can give them a ride on like I just did. So this is like the fun part of using the app. So we went over events. So activities. So on the bottom of your iPhone, you'll see home, events, and activities. So this is pretty much just shows you all your friends. So you can favorite your friends. You can show your feed of like everyone, not just your favorites, and they'll show you all their rides. Or if you just want to see your activity, you can just say just me, and then I'll show you all your activities, and you can open them up as well. And it gives you all the information on the rides. And that is under activities. And depending on if your friends are private or not, you'll be able to see some of your friends' activities. So let's see here. So Steven, so here you go. Here's Steven's ride of today. He did 2.57 miles. It could have been his warm up before he went to an event. You can leave him a comment. Not many people do that. You can even give them a ride on, see right up here in this right-hand corner after they've ridden. And you're probably wondering, let's go back to the home screen. So you're always going to teeter right back to the home screen. If you look at right here in the top right-hand corner, this bell looking thing, because I want to move on off this home screen, this is where you're going to see where people friend you to accept them if you have your account set on private, and who has given you ride-ons. So that's on that notification screen.
Do you recommend to have a private setting or just have it open? I had it private once, but when I did some certain races or whatever it was, like some events, it wouldn't track them because that was on private. So
I have it where I only have to accept Zwifters, but it's not private. Like people can see my activities for that reason.
Okay. Because I'm getting so many that just like suddenly someone is following me. I'm like, who is this person?
Yeah. So I always have to accept my make sure I accept my followers, but I have my other settings on private. Okay. So everyone on an iPhone, you're going to click this little on the bottom right hand, you see 3 dots and more. So if you click that, this is where you're going to add your friends, because it's a lot of questions I get on Facebook. Sorry if I can't get to everyone. I got a lot of questions the last couple of weeks. I've been really busy with work. So hopefully this will answer some of your questions. So all you need to do is click Find Zwifters. And am I not friends on someone here? Let's see. Kevin, I'm friends with you. I'm trying to see who I'm not friends with that I can see. Let's see, Robert Smith. I don't know if that's your, so all you do is you type in the name and then you're just going to look for your friends. There's a lot of Robert Smith, so I don't know who. I'm not going to try to friend him, and that's how you add your friend. Let's see, Jody. I don't know if I'm friends with Jody. Jody. This might be easier. That's her. So as you guys see, Jody's here. I just saw her. She's on, and I'm not friends with her. So you're just going to type her name, and I'm going to add her. And she actually has it set on private, so she'll have to go in and accept me. And then once she does, I will be able to add her to my events, and now we'll be able to like communicate. She'll be able to add me to her events. So I'm going to go back to, that's how you find your friends in Zwift. You can also set them on favorites. So that way, if you have notifications on, like it dings your phone when they're riding. I only do that with my coach athletes, but not everyone else, because then your phone's gonna constantly ding, especially like the ones that like ride at 4:30 in the morning. So the other really important thing on this more page is the settings. So let's everyone click on the settings, and just please tell me if I'm going too fast. I just want to make sure I cover everything. So profile, we kind of went through already when we clicked it on the first page, so we don't have to worry about that. It's really what I want to talk about is the connections, because I don't know how many people I see have double workouts show up on Strava. And the reason why it's double workouts are showing up on Strava, because people are so addicted to their Garmin that they think that they need to record it twice in order for it to go to Strava. You don't. All you need to do is connect your Strava in this connections. So anytime you do a Zwift ride, it will go right to Strava. So you do not need to have your Garmin head unit on. I can't tell you how many times I get asked that question. I have my Garmin connected as well for workouts, and I have Training Peaks because I coach through Training Peaks. So if your coach coaches you through Training Peaks, this is where you're going to connect it. So that way your workouts show up right in Zwift. And then if other people have other things that you want to connect it, this is where you're going to do it. But this page is really important just to get your connections going.
For me, my problem is that Garmin also offers challenges that don't track my miles from Strava.
So you can connect it here. So this will go right to your Garmin Connect. So
yeah. You're talking about, you see double rides on Strava.
Yes.
But the Garmin offers challenges, just like Strava offers challenges that Zwift is not accountable for.
Correct.
And
yeah. So Veronica, then connect your Garmin Connect here, and anytime you do Zwift, it will go right into your Garmin and they will count.
No.
She's saying
no.
Garmin challenge comes up on, so I see what you're saying. So you have your own Garmin challenges that you're doing with Garmin that cannot work with Zwift.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay. Yes. And so in that case, that's a different story. I'm just talking with people that have not been able to get their Zwift rides to Strava. So they're using Garmin because they know Garmin moves it over to Strava. Does that make sense?
Right.
So,
right. Okay.
Yeah. So any questions on your connections? And device?
There is one question that came in a while from Jody. She said, I only have followers and favorites, but I'm not sure when she really said that. I'm thinking it was in the list of the names, like back when you were looking at the stack of all the people.
Jody, did we answer your question that you had that you put in the comments?
The one about whether I had followers?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm a little confused about it. Because I don't have any friends underneath my list, but yet I have people that I'm following. Do they have to accept me? Is that how that works?
They have to accept you and they have to add you as well.
Well, golly.
But if you see friends on your list, you're friends with them.
All right. I have to work on them.
Yeah,
okay.
You have to work on them. You have to say, hey, I friended you, friend me back.
Oh, hello. Okay.
All right.
Got it.
So Activities, I think we went through. And another great thing, if you're a goal setter, you can add your own goal here. You can add a mileage goal, weekly goal, and Zwift will connect you with that. So while I just want to do one thing, because I'm going to turn this last thing, I'm going to turn this Zwift Companion App now into a game controller. So like this is like a twofold. The Zwift Companion App is fun. You can create all your friends lists, meetups. You can give people ride-ons. So like every time someone's coming on. So I just uploaded my Zwift like I'm riding, but I'm not riding. And as you know, my Zwift Companion App is now loading into a different type of screen.
Okay, wait a minute. You're taking me too fast.
Okay.
Back on your events, how can you just search for a specific event?
You can't search for a specific event, like put a name in there and search for it. If you know the time and date, you can scroll through it, or if you know what level it's offering it as, but there's no way to like type in like, hey, I want to do the Trek Women's Ride on the Zwift Companion App.
Okay, that's a bummer.
Right? That would be awesome.
Yeah, there's some certain rides I just want to search for instead of finding out 30 minutes before they start that they're having one.
Well, that's why the Zwift Companion App has them up there, I think 7 days in advance. So, boom.
No, because even the one we just discussed, the takeover from not Major Taylor. Yeah, the Major Taylor takeover, that just showed up today.
It depends on the event, but usually because I used to lead events all the time, they would always post them 7 days in advance for my event.
Bo Jackson kickoff ride showed up about 4 days out in advance.
Yeah, that's about right.
And he had 1,100 riders show up. It would have probably been more had they put it out faster.
Correct. So actual events don't have a limit to how many you can have in the ride, just the meetups do. So it's a little bit differently. So I'll answer more questions at the end because I know a lot of people have things to do, but I want to just show you, I just pretended that I'm like riding over here on this little computer. This is my Zwift Companion App that you guys see here. It now turns into a gaming app. So if you're riding, it will give you your stats. Here's a message board on the bottom. So this just is right on my phone. So if you're riding and you're riding in your meetup, a little meetup thing right now, see, it says meetup because I did create a meetup and it thinks we're in there. You can say, hey, everyone, and it will pop up on your screen in the meetup. Does that make sense? So it's really cool. If you want to see people that are riding nearby, you can actually, names will pop up like this on the computer. It's coming from your Zwift Companion App. When you're in the gaming mode, your companion app now turns into like a controller. So it's like a twofold. You have a fun app to just see what events are coming up, to create your meetups, to find friends, give them ride-ons. Here's my dashboard. So if I was riding, my watts would show up here, miles per hour. Here, if you want to give a wave to somebody, a thumbs up to someone, you can actually.
What's the difference in a wave and a thumbs up?
It actually like waves and it gives people a thumbs up. Yeah, literally. Okay. This eyeball here changes the view of your screen. So if you want to see everyone's butts, you can change the views. If you want an aerial view, you can pick the views that you like. That's what that does. The camera, as long as you have it set up, if you take a picture of the screen, it goes right to your phone. So you can take a picture of your group ride. Hammers, I take the hammer down. And when here's a map of people that are riding. So I'm in my, hold on, let me quit this meetup so you can see. Give me 1 second. For some here, it put me in the meetup. So you'll see, now you see all the dots, those are people riding. And if you click that little circle, it gives people ride-ons. So this turns into your dashboard now to your gaming. Say you don't want to climb and you're about to hit a climb. You're like, oh crap, I didn't realize I was doing this course. I want to cool down. Right from your phone, see that little U-turny? Oh, my pointer. I keep pointing at the screen, sorry. See this U-turn right here? You can click that and your person will just do a turnaround and you don't have to climb anymore. So that's what the Zwift Companion app. People didn't realize how much you can do with this app. A lot of people didn't even have it downloaded. Again, you can
Go back to your dashboard because you didn't explain what all the other things mean.
like that. So this will show up. This is
no. Down beside the U-turn.
Oh yeah, this is just your elbow flick. That's just like little fun little things that you can do. Like you can give someone an elbow flick like that. You can give
Okay.
someone like a wave.
Wave.
Yeah, you can give someone like a thumbs up.
Okay.
This right here is really important for those that know their power zones, work with coaches. If you click this button that looks like the little like line, like the elevation, it will actually on the bottom of your screen, it will show gray if you're riding in your recovery zone. It will show blue if you're riding in your endurance zone. That's really good for athletes that know their zones and also work with coaches and they tell you like, hey, just free ride, but I want you to stay in endurance. That's what this little button right here. This little thing just means like hammer time, like let's hammer, like you're telling the person next to you, like I'm gonna start like riding as fast as I can.
Okay.
And toast, I'm toast, literally that. It just comes up saying like I'm burnt out.
Okay.
Give someone a smiley face. And this one, like I said, is the view of your icon on the screen, like your view as you're riding.
Okay. And what about the power ups? What is that?
So power ups, we talked a little bit about that on part 1. So as you're riding, you gain these power ups like an arrow helmet means that you can get behind someone and you gain like aerodynamic powers for like 50 seconds. The feather, that little feather means that it just made you like 80 pounds lighter and you can climb up that hill like you're 100 pounds versus 180 pounds. So that's all the power ups mean.
Okay.
And but that button allows you to use the power ups.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions on this dashboard down here? And of course, if I was riding, my heart rate, my RPMs, everything here would be like showing. I just have a still board just to show you guys the screen.
So Mary has a question.
Okay.
Says, can you give a ride on to those riding around you if you are in an event, or just give a ride on the one person at a time?
So that's a good question because here, when you're on this map, I click the map part. If you click the little circle, it usually gives ride-ons around you, but it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it works. I know if I'm a leader and if you're in a meetup, you can give ride-ons to everyone else. The other way you can give ride-ons is by actually going to the Zwifters nearby and actually clicking on their names, which is not as friendly, like go like this and then click ride on. So those are other ways that you can give ride-ons. But if you're in a meetup, like a group ride, you can give ride-ons to the whole group by hitting that map button. Did I answer that question to whoever asked? Okay. So here someone said, nice job, guys. I think I somehow was in someone's meetup.
No, you're in the world now.
Oh, I'm in the world now. Okay. So as you can see, like this is where you can see the chat and you can actually start chatting with other people. Any questions? I think I covered everything about the Zwift Companion App, the dashboard, the mappings, and how it's used in the gaming app. I'm just going to take a quick picture of my setup here.
Yeah, hi.
So if you're on screen, smile. I'm going to take a quick picture. Fix your hair. There you go. Thank you. Well, thank you guys so much for coming, and I hope this recorded. And please reach out to me if you have any other questions.
Thanks, Teresa.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Give
you.
you a chance to answer questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, there I am.
Great job.
Yes.